start with Alicia Tonko.
Good evening. So we're back to the good, the bad, the ugly. I'd like to talk to you today about the unscrupulous campaigning during the recent election. I received an anonymous mailing too regarding the changetheboard.com website. And I'm here today because I believe the mailing and the website are an unethical way of campaigning. Anonymous negative campaigning has no place in this school district and must be put to an end. I'm not here to complain about the results of the school board election or even negative campaigning per se. The problem is the anonymity. I'm not making allegations that any candidate was complicit in this behavior. Rather, I am here tonight to request that the board cause an investigation and subpoena GoDaddy and Domain by Proxy to uncover who owns and or who is responsible and or controlling changetheboard.com. It's in the interest of the district residents that we have fair and transparent elections. The investigation should look at whether the anonymous source was seeking to exert undue influence or improper contact with the current or future board members, whether the resources used to create the mailings disclose support a particular candidate, and if so, whether such financial support was disclosed by such candidate, misuse of the school logo, potential trademark infringement, especially if there is a financial connection or gain to electing a particular candidate, and campaigning by an unlawful and unregistered political action committee. This causes me great concern and is not representative of the school district. So I ask that the board seriously consider commencing an investigation into this action. Thank you very much for your time and your cooperation.
Next is Kim McLeod-Reed.
If Bob were here, I would tell him that I timed this in his screen. Okay, first of all, I'm Kim McLeod-Reed. I'm a parent of a Berkeley student, and I would like to thank all of the members of our Board of Education, and that is past, current, and future, all of you, for the time and effort that you have put in and will put in to ensure the successful education of our children. Like many here, I was appalled by the behavior of some members somewhere of our community during this election. Differences of opinion are natural, they should exist, and voicing them to the community is everyone's right. But to send anonymous mailings, publicizing an anonymous website devoted to attacking a single candidate, last year Deb Oriola and this year Barbara Morrow, is just simply shameful. Many people never saw the Change the Board website. It was shut down 2 days before the election because of the infringement of trademark law. We're fairly certain that the people responsible saw all of the chit-chat on Facebook and realized they were in trouble. They won't do that again next year, however, so we had an issue. We'll never have a clear idea of the damage that this has actually done to our community. But for the future, the entire community must be aware and ready to act if another BOE candidate, any candidate, is attacked this way. The website presented itself as a series of facts about Ms. Morrow's record. I'm fairly certain that all of you on the board and administration have seen it. However, for any community members who did not, each of the 14 facts on the website ignored the very existence of the majority vote on the Board of Education, for starters. It implied that Ms. Morrow was solely responsible for every board action that this person, this poster, disapproved of during her entire 18 years. Very comfortable you are. Her true actions and opinions on the issues were either ignored or they were taken out of context. And I'm presenting 2 of these facts to illustrate the damaging content that was posted on the site. A direct quote: Barbara Morrow voted to squander over $139,000 to buy out, in quotes, the contract of a superintendent who only had 1 year of remaining service to the district. And in reality, as many people, but perhaps not all know, Barbara Morrow was one of the minority of the members of the board who had voted not to renew Susan Salvaggio's contract at all. And had the decision been totally up to her, then the buyout, when it came up, would never have been an issue. but it was not totally up to her, nor should it have been. The website also stated, over the past several terms, the board has been split on many votes of consequence. Barbara Morrow has proven herself on numerous occasions to be unable to compromise. This childish approach of taking her toys from the sandbox and going home has no place on the legislative body. I think we probably all can agree that the tone, the language, and the implications are at the very least very disrespectful. They are also completely vague, unsupported, and don't forget, anonymous. But the real point, Ms. Morrow was one of several board members. On some issues, she disagreed with some of her fellow board members. That is as it should be. Multiple board members are elected to ensure that people with different viewpoints and experiences weigh the issues at hand and vote as they see fit. If the board is always in agreement on every issue, then not everybody in the community is being represented. It's as simple as that, and it has nothing to do with sandboxes. Anonymous communications during elections are wrong, and as we've had pointed out, very possibly illegal. They allow people to attack their targets without reason, without restraint, and completely free of any repercussion. No true debate on real issues is possible, possible, because the two sides are not two community members. They are respectively target and poltergeist. So I ask every member of our school community, the board, the administration, our staff, students, and all residents, to join together and take some action against this kind of attack. Thank you.
Sonia Ward.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Sonia Ward. I too am a virtual parent. I've been active in the PTO for the last 3 years. I've been coming to a lot of board meetings, as you will know. And I too have been here for last year's election as well as this year's board election. And to say the least, I was very, very dismayed. I want to thank you all for your hard work, and also John. I don't think I have to reiterate all you've done to bring this community together. It's much appreciated. Thank you. We've been lucky to have, you have agreed to assist us and to bring together our community after years of a divided board and community. Tonight I would like to talk about the last board election. I was dismayed, as I said, to see the name calling and animosity I thought was gone was resurrected. Not by many, but a few. I appreciate freedom of speech, but I don't believe in winning at all costs. As a district, we should be better than to blindly believe in mudslinging news that are shown online and in print. Not all print is true. A lot of wrong information is printed and information completely missing, mainly the positive information that Barbara Muir has accomplished for the district. Through her long-standing relationship with Mr. Widowski, we were able to recruit him and assist us with the broken board and district. I don't think I have to restate all of the accomplishments tonight. I condemn the cowardly way that few people have influenced the election. We not only lost, in my eyes, invaluable members of this board, the guided tirelessly and selflessly. I expect no less from the new elected members. I especially resent that election candidates have been blemished solely by association. Imagine getting a pay raise or demotion solely on who your friends are, not your work qualifications or accomplishments. You'd be outraged. So am I, and should everyone that read the mailing card or website. Unfortunately, that is not the only loss the district will have. Future candidates will think twice before submitting themselves to this kind of bullying. It is our loss and the loss for our children. Thank you.
Stephanie Schechter.
Thank you, Pat. I'm going to stand. I've been sitting so long. And besides, I stood for 35 years in a classroom. And I want everybody behind me to hear me, too. First, I want to thank John I taught for a lot of years in this district, besides living in the district. And the superintendent sets the tone. The superintendent is the leader. It doesn't matter how wonderful the Board of Education is. If what the superintendent brings to the board and how he leads or she leads the board is the most important thing. And John, you brought cohesiveness and kindness and just a working attitude. You didn't, I don't know what else to say. I just feel that you've done an awful lot to bring this district back to where it was, and we needed you. Thank you so much. And that doesn't mean the board wasn't wonderful, but
It takes both.
I want to thank Kevin for what he said. You took away a lot of what I was going to say. But one important thing that I come from, the perspective that I come from, is that of a teacher and a parent. And I'm really worried about the example set by the Change the Board people. This is not what I worked for 35 years in schools for. This is not what kids should be exposed to as precedent setting. And in light of this, and because everybody said a lot of other things, I'm just going to add my voice to those people who feel that the board should do something about finding out who these people were, bring them to the table, and I'd like to be at that table. Because of my husband, hundreds of teachers, principals, ministers of education, and deputy ministers of education, and others from emerging democracies have been in our classrooms, have met with our administrators and our teachers because we were a model district. And I actually sent out a lot of what was happening with this